Here's a shocking fact: over 90% of people fail at sticking to their New Year's resolutions. That's right, 92% to be exact. But what if I told you there's a way to become more self-disciplined without needing to rely on willpower all the time? What if you could train yourself to stay focused and achieve your goals more easily? In this video, I'm going to show you 6 simple, science-backed strategies to build self-discipline and make it work for you. You'll learn how tiny habits can lead to big results, how mastering your mindset is key to staying on track, and why learning to say no might be the best way to stay focused. Ready to unlock your potential and make your goals a reality? Stick with me, and by the end, you'll have a proven roadmap to finally get things done with less effort. Chapter 1. The Power of Tiny Habits. Unlocking consistency. Self-discipline doesn't need to be about massive changes. It's about the tiny things you do every day that add up to something big. A popular concept in personal development is the idea of tiny habits. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life in one go, focus on one small change at a time. This approach is not only easier to stick with but also helps create lasting behavior. In his book Atomic Habits, James Clear explains how tiny habits are the building blocks for transformation. He refers to them as 1% improvements, which means small, consistent progress over time. For example, rather than saying, "I'm going to work out for an hour every day," start by committing to just 5 minutes. This small habit is more sustainable and less intimidating. Research has shown that this strategy is backed by science. Starting small makes you more likely to stick to your goal. In fact, studies show that when people start with easier tasks, they are 80% more likely to follow through. Psychological Science, 2015. The key here is consistency, not perfection. You might miss a day, and that's okay. The goal is to show up every day, even if it's just for 5 minutes. By doing this, you build the habit of self-discipline over time, and it becomes automatic. When tiny habits stack up, they create a snowball effect. That 5 minutes can eventually turn into a 30-minute workout, a complete morning routine, or even finishing a book every month. The magic of small habits is that they compound. If you improve just 1% every day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better. You're not changing your entire life overnight, but you're steadily improving, one habit at a time. This is the secret to long-term success. So, start small and build your consistency gradually. Chapter 2. Master your mindset. Rewiring for success. Mindset is everything when it comes to self-discipline. It's how you view obstacles, challenges, and even failure. People with a growth mindset, coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, believe their abilities can improve through effort. This mindset is a game-changer because it turns challenges into opportunities for growth. When you believe you can improve, discipline becomes much easier to develop. Think of self-discipline as a muscle. If you want to build it, you need to start by thinking of it as something you can strengthen over time. Research shows that people who believe their willpower is limitless are more likely to resist temptations and stick to their goals. Baumeister, 2018. This belief is crucial because it creates a sense of agency in your life. You stop feeling like you're at the mercy of external forces, and instead, you feel in control. One powerful tool for rewiring your mindset is self-talk. If you constantly tell yourself you're bad at something, you'll begin to believe it. On the other hand, replacing negative self-talk with positive, encouraging thoughts can boost your willpower. For instance, telling yourself, "I've got this," or "I can handle this challenge," can shift your mental state and make it easier to stick with difficult tasks. Research also shows that the more we practice positive thinking, the more likely we are to stay disciplined. A study from the University of London revealed that people who practiced mindfulness meditation showed a marked increase in focus and self-discipline. This proves that mental discipline and self-discipline go hand in hand. Your mindset shapes the decisions you make. If you approach challenges with a can-do attitude, you're more likely to push through the hard moments. A positive mindset makes the road to self-discipline much smoother. Chapter 3. The Art of Saying No. Protecting your time and energy. One of the hardest parts of self-discipline is learning how to say no. Saying no isn't just about turning down invitations or requests, it's about protecting your time and energy. If you say yes to everything, you're likely spreading yourself too thin, which makes it harder to focus on your own goals. Learning to say no gives you the freedom to say yes to the things that really matter. Research shows that people who struggle with saying no tend to have lower levels of self-control. In fact, according to a study by the American Psychological Association, individuals who can set boundaries experience less stress and are better at managing their time. This is because they prioritize their goals and prevent distractions from taking over. The trick is to say no without guilt. This can be challenging, especially if you're a people pleaser, but it's crucial for maintaining focus. Instead of saying yes to everything, practice saying, "Let me check my schedule first," or "I'll need to pass on this, but thanks for thinking of me." These responses allow you to decline politely without feeling bad. Saying no also means choosing your energy wisely. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're depleting your willpower. This leaves less energy for your personal goals. In contrast, when you protect your time and energy, you're better able to focus on your priorities, which boosts your self-discipline. One study found that high achievers tend to say no more often than others. They understand that their time is precious and that saying yes to too many things will interfere with their long-term goals. Self-discipline isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. By saying no to distractions and unnecessary commitments, you open up space for the things that align with your values. This strategic approach to time management will help you stay disciplined in the long run. Your focus and energy are your most valuable assets, so protect them wisely. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you don't miss the next chapter of self-discipline tips. Chapter 4. Invisible Routines. How to make discipline automatic. Invisible routines are the unsung heroes of self-discipline. These are the habits and rituals you do without even thinking about it. Think about brushing your teeth or making your bed every morning. These things require little effort but happen because they're deeply ingrained. When you create routines that run on autopilot, discipline becomes second nature. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, calls this the cue routine reward loop. When you make a behavior automatic, you don't have to rely on willpower or motivation. The action becomes a part of your identity. For example, instead of thinking, "I need to go to the gym," you just think, "I'm the kind of person who works out." It's a simple shift, but it makes sticking to your goals feel effortless. One of the best ways to build invisible routines is to tie them to existing habits. This technique is known as habit stacking. For example, if you already have a morning coffee, you can stack a new habit on top of it, like reviewing your goals for the day. This increases the chances of success because you're linking the new habit to something you already do. Research supports this idea. According to a study published in the European Journal of Social Psychology, it takes about 66 days for a behavior to become automatic. Once your routine is set, it requires less energy to maintain it, freeing up your willpower for more difficult tasks. When your routines are invisible, you no longer have to struggle with the decision-making process every time. You remove the friction of willpower, which helps you stay disciplined even on the busiest days. By automating your self-discipline, you make consistency effortless. Chapter 5. The 2-minute rule. How to conquer procrastination. Procrastination is one of the biggest roadblocks to self-discipline. We all put things off, even when we know it's important. But there's a simple strategy that can help break this cycle: the 2-minute rule. This rule, popularized by David Allen in his book Getting Things Done, says that if a task will take 2 minutes or less to complete, do it immediately. The beauty of this rule is its simplicity. When you break tasks into small chunks, they feel more manageable, which reduces the urge to procrastinate. For example, instead of thinking, "I need to clean the entire house," you can start by putting away the dishes. That small task is a quick win, and once you start, you're likely to continue. This momentum is key to overcoming procrastination. Interestingly, the 2-minute rule works because of how our brains are wired. Research shows that our brains experience less friction when we tackle small, easy tasks first. A study by the University of Scranton found that 92% of people fail to achieve their New Year's resolutions. But when you break your goals into smaller, actionable steps, you give yourself a much higher chance of success. A crucial part of the 2-minute rule is focusing on the process, not the outcome. When you only think about getting started, the task seems less overwhelming. This reduces mental resistance and builds momentum that can help you finish larger projects. Another benefit of the 2-minute rule is that it trains your brain to act quickly, without overthinking. Instead of making excuses or dwelling on how long something might take, you focus on just doing it. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to take action more naturally. Chapter 6. Reward your discipline. The secret to staying motivated. Self-discipline requires motivation, and one powerful way to stay motivated is to reward yourself for sticking to your goals. Rewards reinforce positive behavior and help maintain your commitment to your routines. But not all rewards are equal. They need to be strategic and aligned with your long-term objectives. In The Power of Habit, Charles Duhigg talks about the reward loop, which is a key part of habit formation. He explains that the brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical, when we get a reward. This feeling motivates us to repeat the action that led to the reward. Therefore, when you complete a task or stick to your routine, it's essential to give yourself a treat. Whether it's a small snack, a short break, or a fun activity, rewards help create a positive feedback loop. Research by the American Psychological Association reveals that rewards are more effective when they are immediate and tied to the specific behavior. For example, if you finish a task, take a short walk or indulge in something you enjoy right away. Immediate rewards strengthen the connection between the behavior and the feeling of satisfaction. But be mindful, rewards should support your goals, not derail them. If your goal is to exercise more, rewarding yourself with junk food may not be the best idea. Instead, reward yourself with something that aligns with your larger objectives, like a new workout shirt or a relaxing activity that makes you feel good. Another important tip is to use rewards as milestones rather than end goals. Instead of waiting to reward yourself until you've completed an entire project, break it down into smaller achievements. If you've made it through a week of consistent work, reward yourself with something enjoyable. This keeps you motivated along the way. A fascinating study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people are more likely to stick to their goals if they tie rewards to specific actions. This creates a sense of progress, which fuels ongoing effort. When you acknowledge each small victory, you build momentum and stay motivated. The key takeaway is that rewards, when used correctly, can create a lasting sense of motivation and discipline. By pairing rewards with effort, you reinforce positive habits and stay on track to reach your bigger goals. If you found these strategies helpful, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more actionable tips on mastering self-discipline. Thanks for watching.